Hey, what's up everybody, Justin here, and previously some other J-vloggers in the past, such as Unrested, have made certain videos on why some gaijin can't make it in Japan. You know, it may not just be because of language barriers, it may not just be because of food or whatever, it can be because of smoking. And I have seen people quit and not make it in Japan because of how, you know, more tolerant smoking here is in Japan to, let's say, America or Canada. And in the past, few years, smoking being banned in public has been on the rise, but, Japan is the leading nation in Asia where it has the most smokers. Somewhere between 40 to 45% of men smoke in Japan, while 10 to 15% of women smoke in Japan. But thankfully, women, it is more discouraged for women to smoke because it's considered unfeminine, it would make them ugly and whatnot, and it could ruin pregnancies. Thankfully, they convey that risk when you smoke. But for those, amongst that 3% of women who smoke, they actually do it in public. And most foreigners, such as myself, that are coming from America, Canada, England, New Zealand, Australia, we kind of have these anti-smoking campaigns, and we're kind of more aware of, the risks to smoking and the consequences. And I'm sure they have that thing like that in Japan, but it's not as aggressive. And I'm pretty sure a majority of us will come in without any, tolerance to smoking. And if you come here to teach English, then it's likely that you're going to have fellow teachers who smoke, and they'll come into the classroom, teaching class with cigarettes in their shirt pocket. That's in America or wherever you may be from, if you have a, an aggressive anti-smoking, movement, that would be very, very looked down upon, and it could cost that teacher their job. While in Japan, it's socially acceptable, but thankfully they won't, teach class like, 2 plus 2 is 4. They won't do anything like that, But it's just that, you may have schools where you can where you can smoke in the teacher's office, and you may have other places where you can smoke in the courtyard. It's up to the principal of the school of whether or not smoking can be done on campus. But the moment you step outside the gate, let's take for example, the moment I step outside this door, I can take a cigarette out of my pocket. It can be like 8:30 in the morning. I can see, students coming on their bikes or walking the gate. I can be smoking like this, and I can say like, ohayou gozaimasu. You can do something like that. Or you can have, let's say, a PE teacher trying to teach, let's say, baseball on the baseball field, and if the principal allows smoking on campus outdoors, he could be sitting in the dugout, and he could be smoking a cigarette saying, we'll throw your ball like this. Or if the principal does not allow smoking, he can just step outside the fence like this, and then take out a cigarette and teach the class. So if you're not tolerant of something like that, especially in front of children, no less, and if, your intolerance for smoking far outweighs, let's say, your passion for coming to Japan for whatever reason, then I don't recommend coming to Japan. I have seen people who rage quit or wanted to get a transfer because of, the smoking in Japan, of how it's just more tolerated under these kinds of circumstances. And, there has been some sort of a movement lately, let's say a celebrity movement. I know Bo is one of them, saying that we should not promote smoking. I think smoking is also tolerant in Japan because, some famous celebrities, openly smoke, such as, Kimura Takeo SMAP. He's the #1 star in Japan. Well, I won't say #1, but he's one of the top stars in Japan. He's a famous actor and singer, and he smokes, and, media influences can have that. And, of course, we do have media influences in America or wherever you may from in which, let's say, it discourages smoking. So Japan kind of needs that, aggressive movement, findthetruth.org or whatever, to make smoking less acceptable in Japan. You need to make some kind of laws that, can go to a certain extreme, like it has been happening in, let's say, Los Angeles and New York, where they're banning smoking in even bars now. While you can just come to a fast food restaurant in Japan and you can pretty much smoke wherever the hell you want in Japan. So that's pretty much how things, work here, and why some gaijin, or why some of you who want to come to Japan and may not make it in the end. That's all I wanted to say, and hope you enjoy this video. And smoke or don't smoke.